Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to GoLocal Live Business Monday. It's the Small Biz segment here at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I am Josh Fenton. This is Larry Dressler from Agcore out in the great white woods of Cranston.
Cranston, that's right.
Yeah, one of the bigger agricultural areas. I know it's all forested over there.
Yep.
You run a pretty cool company called Agcore.
That's correct.
Give us a little overview about what you guys are doing.
So we're modern day farmers. We grow a superfood crop called spirulina, and that is a microalgae. Most people are familiar with seaweed, which is a macroalgae. This would be somewhat of a sister type product where it's a microalgae. In our superfood, we use it in both animal and human nutrition. And it's a really cool product. Our crop is called spirulina. And spirulina has over 60% sustainable plant proteins. So for comparison reasons, you have steak is somewhere around 25 to 27% protein. You have peanut butter at 23, and we're more than double that.
So I'm a sucker for anything that's called a superfood, right?
Okay.
Like I eat blackberries morning, noon, and night. Kind of
Right.
anything that says superfood, I figure like I could use superfood.
Okay.
What defines a superfood? What's the category, and what does it mean to folks? And why is it so critical? Why is there so much buzz about superfoods?
Well, we have entered a health-conscious era.
Yeah.
In fact, the health and wellness category has been the latest trillion-dollar industry. So superfoods, it's funny, if you were to Google superfoods 2005, it's going to be apples and peaches and
Right.
sands and stuff.
Right.
Now it's quinoa, chia seeds, spirulina, and so on. So
Are blackberries still superfoods?
yeah, they're still superfoods.
Okay. Phew.
We just have more to the category.
All right, good.
More
good,
options. But with spirulina, we have more beta carotene than carrots. We have more iron than spinach, more calcium than milk, and more antioxidants than blueberries. So those are all the things that make it a superfood.
So when did you start the business?
We started in 2013.
And what was the brainchild to it? You were sitting in your kitchen
Yeah,
and
no.
you said, God, I could use some superfood. I bet everybody could use some superfood.
Didn't necessarily go down that way. I grew up in that.
Thus, that's why I'm not in the superfood
Yeah, there you
business,
go.
right?
I was lucky enough, I grew up in a family business called Colfax that manufactured vegetable oils. They were located in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. We sold that in 2000. I worked for corporate America for a couple of years and then started off on my own developing products for Dunkin' Donuts and Foxwoods, MGM.
Right.
And then my background was in vegetable oil, and I was looking for alternative crops. And I stumbled across some articles on algae. And algae is a fast-growing crop, so I really kind of fell in love with it. And as I did more research in it, algae is made up of protein, carbohydrates, and lipids, which is kind of a fancy word for vegetable oil. So as I did my research, I kind of fell a little bit more in love with the protein side, raised money. In 2013, we started Agcore Technologies.
Great. How many folks at the place?
We're at 7.
7 people,
In a
and you've
part-time.
got distribution in about
120 stores.
20 stores
since November.
So products just became commercially available less than a year ago.
Correct. We just rolled this product out, Crunch Lena, which is a snack cluster, and we rolled that out November 1st of last year. And we have it in maple, apple, original, and now we're working with hemp-derived CBD.
I'm not going to get into all the,
Yeah.
and the hemp drive is completely legal.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And what's the profile of the retailer that's taking you right now?
So again, we're very big on the health-conscious consumer. You have the millenniums really seem to be driving that industry, as well as, it goes to all the age groups. But we're in the natural food stores. We're in some of the markets, everything from coffee houses to yoga studios. And going back to the millenniums, we have product at URI. We have our first order going into RISD this week. We're at Harvard. So we're really catering to that health-conscious consumer.
That's great. And what's been the biggest challenge? You started in 13, took you a few years to get the product off the market. You're now hitting a little bit of a stride. You're in 120 stores. Talk about it, and I'll tell you why. A lot of small business people say they watch the show and they pick up stuff from other entrepreneurs. Sure. And I think it's valuable to talk not only about the successes of being 120 stores, but what are some of the frustrations?
They're there, every day.
Yeah.
Early it was just learning how to grow the spirulina. Most of it's grown closer to the equator. We grow it a completely unique way, very high product integrity. Our competitors grow in outdoor man-made ponds, and we grow in 8-foot tall tanks inside of greenhouses. So product integrity, that's great, but we were new to learning about Mother Nature, and she can be difficult at times. We have a great grow crew right now. We hire biologists from local universities, and they're doing a fantastic job. And this past summer was incredibly hot, which could be very damaging, and things went well. But as far as the crop, we seem to have mastered a lot of that. But it's the standard startup. Well, we're emerging small business, and it's usually funding.
Yeah.
And for us, we're at the point now where we have a great product line, and it's really funds for marketing and sales. So I would say that's it.
If somebody comes along, I'll use, if Jeff Bezos calls and says, I want you in every Whole Foods across the country, is that a curse? Or is it a benefit? I mean, you've got to produce. Can you produce? What's the level of production you guys can hit in your existing structure?
We have capacity. I would have to tell him, he'd have to give me a couple of weeks before before the trucks rolled out.
Right.
But no, we have capacity. Right now, our limiting factor is somewhat in our processing and packaging. So our farm right now is pretty good, but we do have plans in the next year or two to move up to a couple of acres.
Do you package on-site, or do you ship it out?
We do.
Yeah.
We actually have both capabilities, so we've done it both ways.
Great.
But more control if you do it in-house.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you see the future? I mean, you're at 120 stores. Do you see this growing exponentially, or do you want to kind of be a little bit cautious about, not hitting too big a stride? There's always those famous stories about folks who get into Walmart and then they're gone 2 years later because they just can't absorb the production requirements and delivery requirements.
Yeah, so I don't think that's necessarily an area for us. We're not looking to be in every single supermarket. We are looking to be in every single natural food store. And so short term, we're looking to go up and down both the East and West Coast. There seems to be a little bit higher population, of course, more of your health conscious consumer. And then on the long term side, we definitely want to be nationwide and certainly working with major chains.
And are you doing the big trade shows, the Natural Food Show and those types of things, and trying to spread the word to the trade? And there's one in New York, there's one on the West Coast.
Right.
Those are big shows, big players, big buyers, etc.
Right. So went out to the show out in Anaheim in March, end of February. And that was fantastic. So I think we will probably present there next year.
Great.
We're doing the farmers markets, and that's really a great opportunity for us to talk to the final consumer. We've done some test marketing of products with them. The trade shows, for the most part, we've done very well with. So that's all part of the whole sales and marketing.
And you worked with Commerce.
Correct.
How did they help you, treat you, pluses and minuses? What was that experience?
Well, I'm happy to say no minuses. As far as pluses, they're extremely accommodating. I work with Christine Smith, Kalina Harrington, and
we've had Christina Smith right here.
Oh, there you go.
She's been in your spot.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Extremely accommodating, and what I like is that you can just email them, give them a call, and they'll get right back to you. And they've been able to point me in the right direction if it wasn't a project that Rhode Island Commerce works on. But we actually, we've been involved in, I guess, 2 or 3 different types of projects with them. They have their innovation voucher, where we've actually, very exciting for us, we've been working on a product for about the last year. Can't really go into too much detail what the product is, but I think they're going to help us with speed to market probably by about 2 years.
Can we call it Project X?
Yeah, there you go.
Can we give it a good name like that?
Absolutely.
Great.
That sounds good.
Awesome.
So that's a big help. And then we're very supportive of the local universities.
Yeah.
So we have an innovation innovation internship program.
Yeah.
And we've
Is that with the URI?
URI. We also work with Roger Williams.
Great.
And
a Roger Williams student can go all the way from Bristol all the way to Cranston, Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Jeez.
We have one doing that now.
Oh my God. Rhode Island has come a long way, hasn't it? That's right.
That's right.
You've talked a little bit about where you are now. What are the needs you're going to have to develop to be able to become that it company? All of us work through the ups and downs. We as entrepreneurs, we've all put our hands in our hands numerous times and go, what the heck were we
Yeah.
ever thinking about launching this company? Seems like you're past the, oh my God.
Right.
And you're now into that next level of growth. What do you need to take it on and be, a super regional company and
Right.
a company with 100 employees and et cetera?
Well, as I mentioned before, sales and marketing. One area that we've been a little weak on has been the social media,
Yeah.
and that's really something that is a necessity. And our product actually lends very well for that arena.
Yeah.
So that's an area that we are raising some funds for right now.
That's great. And how are you raising funds? Is it in the private market? Are you looking for venture angel money, or is this through other forms of financing?
Yeah, so right now for us, we're very proud of what we have, and we're really looking for strategic partners.
Yeah.
So we're not just looking for a VC that invests in anything. We're looking for someone that can help propel our product to the next step.
That's great. And if somebody's looking to get into, there's a lot of cool startups in the food industry here in Rhode Island. It's a growing segment. What are a couple pieces of suggestions that you'd make to folks who are thinking about jumping into the same proverbial pond?
It takes a certain type of person.
Yeah.
I would definitely got to do your market study.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that there's a market for it, a customer for it. It's great if you have a great product, but only 1 or 2 people might want to consume it, or what have you. And I would go to Rhode Island Commerce. They seem to be very accommodating, from a very small business to conceptual state to where we are.
Great.
So I think that would be a good move.
That was great. I really appreciate you coming out. Stay right here. We're going to take about a 30-second break for our next guest, another entrepreneur doing some interesting stuff, not in the food world, but in the energy world. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. I'm Josh Fenton. This is the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Be right back.